Welcome to Unit 4, Lesson 7, Inequivalent Equations Practice Problems. Noah solved the equation. Here are steps. Do we agree with Noah? Noah's partially right, but Noah forgot the -3 part. So when you take the square root of a positive number, there are two answers, plus and minus. So Noah's partially right. Okay, so let's find the solution to these equations. All right, first step, move the 7. So I get the square root of x plus 4 is equal to -2. This is no real solution, so I won't stop right here. We'll solve it later. Okay, the -2 is not part of the group, just like above. So we add 2 to both sides. We get 47 minus x is equal to 6. We're going to square both sides. Because the x is under a radical and it's 47 minus x, part of a group, so you got to get rid of everything. When you square both sides, you get 47 minus x is equal to 36. I'm going to subtract 47 for both sides. Negative x equals -11. Divide by -1 on both sides, and x equals +11. When a negative is in front of a term or a number, what it means is -1 times that term or number. And then finally, the last one. So we got this 1/2 here. The first thing we want to do is multiply to get it to cancel out. Multiply by the reciprocal or the inverse. We get the square root of 20 plus x is equal to 10. Square both sides. 20 plus x is equal to 100. Subtract 20 on both sides. And x is equal to 80. Okay, so let's look at this next problem. The 13 is not part of the radical. So we're going to move the 13. And we get the square root of 5 minus x is equal to -9. So we can't take the square root of a negative number yet. So I'm going to go say no solution. And it has no real solution. This is a key word. In math, the language must be precise. And this is an imprecise answer. But we're going to learn how to solve problems like this next week. Okay, select all expressions equal to 1/2 to the 5th power. All right, so I could write it as 1/2 to the 5 squared. I could write 2 to the -5/2. So let's look at what our options are. So A doesn't work. B works. Two to the 5th is 32, so C works. And F works. Which are the solutions to x squared equals 36? Take the square root of it, you get plus and minus 6, so you get C, plus and minus 6. Okay, let's look at this one. Here's a graph of y equals x squared. Use your graph to estimate all solutions to x squared equals 3. So 3 is our y. We go over, where does it touch the graph? So the square root of 3 is in between 1.5 and 2. But also, if you go this way, you also hit the graph. and the square root of 3 is in between -2 and -1.5. So what's halfway between 1.5 and 2? About 1.75. So x is approximately 1.75. If you square your estimates, they should be close to 3 because x equals the square root of 3. If I square both sides, well, no, just the estimate. If I square the estimate, if I square just the estimate, the square gets rid of the radical, and it's going to be close to 3. You can do number C with the calculator. I don't need to do that here because these are approximations, and we don't like to deal with approximations. We like exact answers. Okay, polynomial function Q has a known factor of 3x plus 5. So write Q of x as the product of linear factors. So we got to go back and practice our long division, which I know you all love so much. 3x cubed plus 11x squared minus 14x minus 40. Should get an answer of 0. So what times 3x makes 3x cubed? The beautiful thing is you have to line your numbers up. You have to start with x squared. You cannot start with x cubed because you have two terms here. So x squared times 5 is 5x squared. X squared times 3x is 3x cubed. Multiply to match the first term. You change both signs. You add or subtract. First terms must cancel out. The next terms don't. Now the next term we have to line over is the x, but we have to match 6x squared. So we ask ourselves, what times 3x gives us 6x squared? Well, 2x. So this is positive 2x. 2x times 5 is 10x. 2x times 3 is 6x squared. Change both signs. We get negative 24x minus 40. Now we have to multiply to match the first term. This is negative 24x. So if I say minus 8, 8 times 5 is 40, is negative 40. Negative 8 times 3 is negative 24x. Change both signs. We get 0. So now we have a linear factor and a quadratic. Anything to the square power is quadratic. So we have to factor the answer. This is our answer. This 0 lets us know that 3x plus 5 is a factor. So now we take x squared plus 2x minus 8. We list the factors of 8 to factor a trinomial. 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. 2 and 4 subtracted 2. We know we have different signs because the third term, the sign in front of the third term is negative, which means x plus x minus. Now, 4 minus 2 is 8. This is positive 2. The sign in front of the second term goes with the larger number. So now, our linear factors are 3x plus 5, x plus 4, and x minus 2. And I can always check because 4 minus 2 equals 2. 4 times negative 2 gives us negative 8. This is your second term, and this is your third.